I cheated on the ACT and got a full ride to college.
Yes. I only cheated once because I was so scared. It was in 4th grade.
I cheated in the 5th grade on something.
Yeah.
And then I faked sick the next day, so I didn't have to go in and deal with the consequences.
Oh, no, I was complicit in a crime. There was this girl that I was trying to impress. Goth baddie with pierced nipples. The speed limit was 55.
Yeah.
I looked down. She was going 148.
Wow.
I'm Cody Troutman, and this is my podcast. The Cody TroutPod.
Folks, welcome back to, not the Cody TroutPod, to Comedic Confessions.
Yeah.
With Humzah Choudry, everybody. Woo! Wait, I fucked up. There we go. I have applause on here. We're going wild.
The crowd going wild, as they did at your show.
They did. That was fun. That was a rowdy crowd. That was exactly the kind of crowd we wanted. So, Humzah was on the first edition of Comedic Confessions Live.
Yes.
Which will come out next week because it's a lot of work putting all that footage together. Yeah. I'm not a pro at it yet.
Yeah.
But I did the solo episode recapping it, brought you on as one of our esteemed panelists.
Oh, so you recapped it by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what am I doing here? You figured it out. You did it.
Well, I recapped it from because that episode will come out tomorrow. I recapped it from a logistical standpoint.
I see.
Just hey, here's how I came up with the idea. Here's how I, did this, and here's how this logistical piece worked out.
I see.
But I thought me and you could talk about a couple of the fun moments.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give you some flowers as well.
Thank you.
They're right here. We've had a vase.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to, in the spirit of the Cody TroutPod transforming into something else, we will both be doing Comedic Confessions.
I'm ready.
So I think that's the show now, we come, and I do think this is a little cringe, but I think that telling embarrassing stories is actually like a bonding experience.
Absolutely.
Getting vulnerable with someone and laughing at each other and being like, oh, we've all been there.
Yeah, the worst is doing the vulnerability thing and then the other person doesn't. Have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah,
You say some real heartfelt shit and they're like, all right. And then that's it. You're just I'm out here with my heart on my sleeve and you're leaving me hanging? That's fucked up.
That's so true. Yeah,
so I'm glad you're doing it too.
Yeah, how funny would it be if I had you come on as a guest and I was like, tell me your most embarrassing story. You tell this hilarious, heart-wrenching. I'm just like, bro, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is embarrassing. Anyways, that's it for the Cody.
You were saying earlier I might have to get rid of my theme song. I think I'm just going to keep it.
The Cody TroutPod.
Yeah, it's just going to be the same theme song, but I'm going to be like, actually, it's Comedic Confessions.
Yeah, just do a remix. Just do a Migos ad-lib in the background.
Oh, shit, that'd be cool.
Comedic. Do it. I think
Comedic Confessions.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I think that'll, I don't know. Remix.
Which is the was it Takeoff? The one that passed away tragically?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think was it cancer?
Did he?
No, I think he got shot or something. It was either Takeoff or Offset. I think Quavo's still around.
Quavo, I think is still. I don't want to pretend like I know anything. I keep up with the Migos.
Yeah. He was up in Detroit the other day.
yeah. Caught their show in Atlanta.
But yeah, you were on the panel. You were like the MVP because you had a really tough spot. I opened and I was like, I'll just open with some crowd work so it's not like too much about me. Yeah. I think next time I'm just going to do material so I take that initial bullet. But your set was so strong, you got the crowd into it right away. You really kicked off the show well.
I think your crowd work was good. I think it just should have lasted longer.
Even longer.
I think it should be 5 to 10 until everyone's kind of engaged. I think you were doing good. And I just think it needed to be a little bit longer. That's if me. And obviously you can do jokes too. Yeah. If you have jokes, you could have joked about the venue or even if you had anything about setting up the show, or all the videos you made, just to do a good 5, I think over 5 minutes for the start. How long did you do?
I think I did 4.
Yeah. I think 7 minutes up top would be
Dude, that's ideal. So smart. Cause I could talk, I could make little jokes about because we had to cover the windows. I could be like, guys, you're at a high-end show. We have trash bags on the window. Little stuff like that.
Exactly.
Not necessarily super funny, but it's fun. Yeah. And I'm getting the crowd into it.
It's very present. Mm-hmm. You're only going to get that joke here.
Yeah. Exactly.
You did it, so you set it up. Yeah. I think that stuff, I don't know, goes a long way just to
So smart.
But I think you did a good job. That's not to say, I mean, the crowd, whenever I went up, was ready, you know? And then and my only thing was like, I just need to get a joke in quick. So I just used my 4-year-old joke.
It's good. It landed strongly.
Is trusty and just, it has a quick punchline. So I went for it.
Yeah, dude, you did really good. Like I could tell that the crowd was super into it at the end because when you were saying your setups, even though the room was like loud and rowdy right before the show, it was silent. And then your punchlines, it would be like a boom. I was like, oh man, Humzah's cooking.
Dude, it does really worry me if I'm doing a setup and there's a pause at how quiet the room is. It scares me.
It's because you're in the pocket.
It kind of freaks me out because I'm like, oh no, like it could just stay this way. Like if the punchline doesn't work, it's this silent continuously. That's a nightmare.
That's really
like
funny.
I almost would rather be a little, like humming a bit during a setup.
I've never thought about it like that. That's really funny. I think if they're like really quiet during a setup, they're paying attention. Or they, like in your case, that they were for sure.
Yeah.
If mine, if they're quiet during a setup, they're like on their phone.
they're looking for another show to go to.
Fun
they're
activities near me.
Like, I wonder if there's any bands playing. Maybe music's our thing.
Or my most common local Google search: Wingstop open now near me. That's my 2-for-1
Wingstop burgers.
But no, man, that was awesome. And then all your riffs on the panel were so funny,
dude. I think I got to give my flowers to you that you put together a great panel. I think you did a good job chemistry wise on the panel.
Thank you. I tried to have people that were all different, like humor styles.
Yeah.
Because me and Caleb are total opposites.
Yeah.
You're good at all forms. You're good at the stand-up. You're good at podcasts. You're good at bantering.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. But that's
you have a huge penis. It's like it stays hard all the time. Like gets really hard for women.
I'm paying Cody for this podcast, by the way. This is a propaganda session.
Oh, you know what's funny is I was watching some of the footage back, and there was one story where, like, you know, that girl was talking about the military guy that would rather watch Tangle. She was also saying like, oh yeah, and like he couldn't even stay hard. Yeah. And my riff was like, hey, that's okay. Yeah. That happens to everybody. Yeah. And you can hear my girlfriend on you can hear her laughing really loud. I was like, all right. All right. That's a little telling, babe. You don't get to laugh that hard. Shut the fuck up. How about you stand up and say, you wouldn't know? Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful, babe. People know who you are. I'm not just anybody anymore, right? Yeah, that's funny. But that was really fun show. A lot of things I want to do better, but we got off to Can I ask, in this podcast or in the podcast you did you mention the stories that were told? Because you just mentioned one. Is that a part of the confessions though? Because some of the stories, I was talking to your dad about it. The stories were incredible. Yeah, they were. And there were a lot of stories we drew really well. Like we got really lucky with the draws. Yeah. Because the first story was can I say? Is that? Yeah, I think because the live episode will come out after this. Oh, okay. So you are going to put on the live episode. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Okay, then hey, go watch the live episode when it comes out. Well, you can preview it now. I don't mind. So before the show, we were all chilling in the opening lounge area. Yeah. And this guy comes up to us and he's like, "How do you know what story is to tell?" And he was a little off-putting. He had his own energy going. Yeah, he had a little energy, where he's a nice guy. He probably works a normal job, but everybody at work is don't get that guy mad at you. They don't. He has a list somewhere. Yeah. And so we made jokes about him killing people and he did not say no. Yeah, he just dead stared at you. Yeah. But he came up to Cody and he was like, "How do you know what stories are the best?" He's like, "You should read them all and pick the best ones." And Cody was like, "Why don't you start your own show and read all the fucking things, and then I'll come to that one." And the guy was like, "Well, I have the best story." And we were just like, "Okay, sure." Yeah. And then he so happened to be the first draw. Yeah. And his story was incredible. It was crazy. He used to be a delivery guy for the luggage at the airport. And he said one time he was delivering and it smelled like meat and he thought he was delivering a dead body to the cartel. And it ended up, he opened it and it was just $3 million worth of drugs. Yeah. And then he just sealed it back up and delivered it. That was the best part is he was like, "You know what? Pick your battles.
Yeah, he was just like, dude, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm
play
not
dumb. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not calling the cops. I'm not telling them. I'm not running away. Pretend like it never happened.
Yeah, that would be too scary. But yeah, that was so funny that he got pulled first.
Yeah.
I can't, and his whole interview was really funny. So I'm excited for people to see that one.
Yeah, it was funny. He was like, we were like, what was in there? He's like, it was like crack and cocaine. And we were like, all right, it's one or the other. They're not. Me and Lynn looked at each other. We're like, it's not both. It's definitely one or the other.
It was like a little deli style. We have some marijuana. We have some pills. They were all labeled really nicely. It was really fun. Definitely some things I need to improve on for the next show, but there was I think the core concept is worth building upon.
I think I was talking to you, it worked so smoothly for the first show. The stories were great, people were into it, the crowd was great, the venue was, I saw the work you guys did. It was a lot of work, but it looked great.
Good.
So, yeah, it was definitely started off with a bang, I would say.
One thing I did that I do think really helped, like it took hours and days, but what I did is I scripted, maybe the wrong word, but like logistically planned out minute by minute of the entire show and like what could happen at what point and how it would be handled. And it really came in handy when I was like bringing acts on stage, having to go off, collect the story submissions, organize them, get the contact cards, get the raffle prizes, get back on stage, like that stuff. And then like at the end, knowing like, okay, when I'm trying to cap the show like this, I need to announce this. Then I do the raffle, the comedians choose the finalists, the audience votes. That you like having all that planned out, I think really helped. Like, cause when I was planning it all out, like I was like, is this necessary? This is taking hours and hours. And then it did end up helping. So I think that helped a little bit.
And that's all those like little logistics things that people miss, like running their first show.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like you were able to, avoid all those like pitfalls.
Yeah. It really wasn't that I am some great showrunner. I was just like so afraid of it going bad that I was like, I got to be really prepared.
I think that's good. I think that's the best preparation is probably out of fear.
Yes.
Or anxiety, where it's just like the more prepared you are, the better it's going to go. So
I'm a huge Seinfeld fan, like of the show, of him, of Larry David, that whole group. And they said that the reason that the show was so good for so long is they were terrified of it being bad. Yeah. And so they would like work themselves to death. Like Larry David said, the more successful the show got, the harder it was for him because it was like it was going to be so humiliating if it was then bad. Yeah. And so he just worked super hard on it. So I was like, oh, I kind of get that. That's interesting. Yeah. Me and Larry David kind of doing the same.
Kind of the same people.
He would,
kind of the same.
He would show up.
I don't know. I think that it's cool to have a show that has like some sort of a unique take.
Yeah.
It seemed like everyone there, I don't know. I think you're going to get a lot of repeat customers, if I'm being honest.
That would be huge because I think that is, we have to have that. Like, cause I'm just worried that, once people come once, because that's the reason. And I know we're just talking about the show. I'm about to get to the real episode. I'll hit record here in a minute. No, I'm just kidding. I think the reason I wanted to come up with a show concept is like, once you've seen me do stand up, that's, especially if I do a longer set, it's like, I only have like 30 minutes of material that is like show worthy. So if you see me do 20 minutes, I mean, you've seen most of it, so you got to wait, the only reason you'd come to another show is like kind of, like as a favor, it's like, I want people to come to a show because they really want to, and it's worth the entertainment. Yeah. So it's like, it's got to be different every time. Yeah. So that was one of the ideas. Like if we have the show be different every time, because then it's like, oh, it's a format that if the show succeeds, it's like, oh, it's a format we like, but it's different every time. So it's like kind of hitting the best of both worlds. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the show is now Comedic Confessions. So I would like to know if you brought a confession you're prepared to share.
Well, I had a confession for the show.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't get drawn, so I can throw it out.
I would love, so just like the show, say the headline of it. So the audience is like, ooh, it's juicy, and then you can tell it.
Yeah, I cheated on the ACT and got a full ride to college.
Yes.
That is my confession. It's not something I'm proud of, but it is true. Allegedly, I cheated on the ACT.
You're like, I cheated by studying for years and I knew all the answers.
Yeah. I essentially the story just goes that I mean, I don't know. I feel like bad telling this because it's like, I think it's illegal.
Is it really?
But I think I'm past the.
Oh yeah, you're like successful in
what
your
are they going to
career.
take my? What are they going to take my college degree away?
You can't go back.
Yeah. So
where did you go to college again?
The University of Oklahoma.
Was it? I mean, I can bleep that out if you don't.
No,
want. Because I thought you.
You're like, get it. You're like, and what year? And what was your student ID? Like they're gonna look me up. No, but so what happened was I was a okay student, but everyone in my family got full rides.
Nice.
And I just wasn't smart enough to do that. And I took the ACT 6 times.
Nice.
So my ACT scores, I took it starting sophomore year was like a 24, a 24, a 25, a 26, a 27, and a 33.
Ooh.
And if you notice, there's a significant jump in that. And what happened was
believable trajectory, though. Honestly, I could see that
6 points in a. I'm even sure. What's funny is like I was really studying to take it. I was like studying my ass off, and then the day of, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, this kind of sucks. He's never gonna hear this. My brother, called me the morning of, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go take the ACT for you." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna swing by home, grab your ID, and I'm gonna go take it for you."
What?
This is when racism is a good thing, is because they were just like, "Yeah, this is the same guy." Obviously, they're looking at me and my brother. Our macros are the same. Brown guys, 6 feet tall, brown eyes, whatever.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you look at us next to each other, we don't look that much alike. He looks like my mom more. I look more like my dad.
Whoa.
But it didn't matter because he got through. And my brother, what's funny is somebody behind him in line knew me. And they heard, so they're like, some guy like, so I thought I was fucked. Because by that night, so many people knew.
No!
So many people knew this girl that went to North. So my brother went and took it at UCO.
Okay.
Because it was like, don't take it at my high school. Obviously, that's a terrible idea. And he went and took it at UCO, and the girl behind him knew me and heard him say my name. And I was like, somebody took Humzah's ACT.
Oh, no.
And by that night, everybody knew. No. I was like, oh my God, we're fucked. Somehow nobody snitched.
Damn, that's awesome.
That year was like urban legend. This is all allegedly, by the way.
Of course.
My brother went in, and my brother told me, he was like, I was taking it, and I was like, he said on the first section, he was like, I should get some wrong. Because my brother got a 34. My brother's a national merit. He's a doctor. He's a very smart guy.
Incredible.
He was like, I should get some wrong. And so he did that in the first section. And then the next ones, he's like, no, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to do that good. I'm just going to take it. So he took it. My breakdown of scores was a perfect score on math, a perfect score on science, a perfect score on English.
Oh, no.
And then a reading, he got like a 30 or like a 27.
And that was
the one that he purposely got some wrong. So he could have probably gotten like a 35 or 34.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, he smashed it, and I got a full ride scholarship because of it. And that is my confession. And I don't feel bad.
Dude, that is crazy.
I kind of feel bad. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm low key kind of a criminal. I think it's too late for this to matter though.
Before I put this episode out, I will do some research to make sure that nothing bad can happen.
Yeah, just bleep out who it is, maybe.
Okay.
Just a brown man.
Yeah, I'll just be like an Indian guy took your.
I hired an Indian guy off Craigslist to one of the Oklahoma science and math students came and took
you
my.
Didn't even ask if he was smart. You knew. Like, any Indian will do.
A 40-year-old Indian man came and took my ACT for me, and they're like, "All right, yeah."
My name is Vanush. I am
the CEO of Microsoft came and took my ACT for me.
What's the Sundar Pichai? Is it Google, right? He's he shows up. Oh man, that would had you and your I guess I'll just bleep it off if I need to later. Had you and your brother planned this at all beforehand, or literally day of out of the blue?
We chatted about it and like kind of like jokingly, like yeah, and then he just did it.
I can't imagine if I was in his shoes. I can't imagine the adrenaline rush of trying to take a test while being an impersonator. That would be terrifying.
I think it was It was once. You know what's funny? Okay, so we actually drove. I had to drive. I couldn't be at home during the test, so I had to drive somewhere. So I went.
Oh yeah.
I went to the.
So your family didn't know. Nobody else knew.
Nobody else knew. Just me and my brother.
You just like went some.
And so we drove to the UCO, dropped him off, and then I went to the mosque, which is right across the street.
Oh my
and
God.
low-key, I started praying. I was just like praying to God. I was like, please let this work. Please let this work. And I got bored, so I ended up texting my buddy Will to come pick me up. So Will was like the one guy that I knew would know, and I was like, you can't tell anyone. But then that thing happened with the girl, so everybody knew. Oh. But I remember my brother texted me. He was like, I'm in.
Oh my
And I was just like, oh God. Okay, that was like a relief. And then, yeah, I mean, he's so smart that he could probably take it today and still smash it, you know?
That's incredible. Yeah. I cannot believe you went and prayed while you was
so funny.
going to take the test.
I remember praying. I was like, God, if you let this work, I will be a good Muslim for the rest of my life. Fooled him. Got his ass. Fooled him.
But you don't eat pork or anything, right? I feel like that's a pretty big.
No, that's a big one. That's like 25% of Muslims' identity. Is like don't eat pork.
Yeah.
Lie about drinking.
Okay.
And don't have a girlfriend. That's about it.
And you have a wife, so you're immune to that one now.
Pretty good.
Wow. So is this is going to show my ignorance? Drinking also not okay.
Drinking is haram.
Oh.
Yeah.
Haram is bad. Okay.
It's forbidden.
Halal is good. Is that right?
Halal is good.
Okay. I need to learn this stuff.
Haram is forbidden. It's like you don't do that stuff.
Okay. And this may be an even dumber question. Is Hamas, that's a whole different thing. It just, the words kind of sound similar.
It just sounds similar.
Gotcha.
Hamas is a group of people that are deemed terrorsk in the United States.
And Mumbai is a place.
It's a place full of Indians.
I just start saying it.
You're like, in India, smell? Is that a smell?
And curry is a flavor.
Curry is a people?
Well, actually, is curry a flavor or a specific spice or a dish?
Curry is like it's like if you were to say, I don't know, like a stew.
Okay,
it's like kind of like a
dish.
type of dish. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like our mac and cheese.
Yeah. The way people use mac and cheese now where they're putting it everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Just like, what would make this random item taste better? Some cheesy noodles.
Dude, my biggest pet peeve is pizza with mac and cheese on it.
Oh, I've never even heard of such a thing.
Oh, well, you haven't been to Cece's in a bit.
Oh, God.
Cece's, I always see it. I'm like, dude, this is bread and cheese on bread and cheese. And you can keep those two things separate. Some people disagree, though.
I've been, there's been a couple times when I've been on the road with comics who are, let's just say, less than ideal physical specimens.
Yeah.
And some of the eating habits that I have seen from these individuals.
Dude. Yeah, and then they'll be like eating so much, and they'll be like, "Do you have like a cigarette? It's like, dude, pick a lane, just do one, please. Have one vice."
Like the reason that made me think of it is like I remember I went to Cece's with some comics, and I was just like looking, I'm like, man, what of this is edible? And I look, and one of the guys has like 4 plates balanced on his arms and is stacking slices and folding them to get them in faster. I was like, oh my.
He double staffed 2 pizzas on top of each other and then folded to take.
He stacked them. So one was like cheese up.
Yeah.
Then he would do cheese down. So it was like a little pizza
God,
sandwich.
like a calzone.
Yes. And then he would fold it and he would dip it in ranch.
That's
I was like, holy shit.
That guy needs to be arrested, like from food, like not to like for a crime, but just like he needs to be placed in handcuffs and like put in a bedroom or something.
I was like, damn, that is like, and he did it so fast. You could tell this wasn't an experiment.
Yeah.
He was like, I have my method, stay back.
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
It was, and then of course, we're there for an hour and he's just like destroying the restaurant. And then like when we're about to leave, he's like, oh God. He's like falling asleep with a stomach ache. He's like, oh God.
That is the thing though, is all you can eat. It's like, you got to win. You gotta eat more than your money's worth.
That's true.
And pizza costs like 2 cents a slice. So you gotta eat 80 slices to break even.
I lost money. I'm the one that.
That's the thing. You should lose money at a all you can eat. You should.
I'll never forget the first time I went to Golden Corral. It was with my grandparents in Missouri. And I'm kind of like a germaphobe, however it's spelled. Like
you hate German people?
Yeah. I'm really terrified of Nazism of any kind. Yeah. And so I'm at Golden Corral, and they're like hyping up the chocolate fountain. And I already think the concept's like a little gross. And the first thing I see when we walk in is like a little kid putting his hands in and then licking his hands and putting them back in.
Delicious.
I was like, that's your centerpiece? Yeah. This is your mascot? Yeah. It was horrible.
It is. Golden Corral is one of those places that like I remember loving it. And every time I go back, it's like... This is, it's just like a bunch of like steamy fried stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of steamy fried stuff. The one thing I still do like is the ice cream machine.
Oh.
Because I like trying to make my ice cream as tall as possible.
Oh, it's one of those like
swirl frozen yogurt things.
That is fun.
That is a good time.
Make it as tall as possible. That's good. So, okay, I got a sidetrack. The ACT. So your brother takes it. It was a secret. You were praying. Like, was there a sense of anxiety even after the test was over, like all the way up until the scores came out, or like once he left that day and nothing happened, you were like, oh, we're good? No,
because that night I went to a party and people were like, did somebody take the ACT for you?
Oh my God.
And I was like, how did you find out? And then we traced it back to the girl that told everyone, or she told someone and someone told someone. And it was just like, oh my God, I'm screwed. Thankfully, most of those people went to a different school. But it was like Edmond North versus Edmond Santa Fe, you know?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
So I was freaking out, and then, but thankfully, like after like the weekend and like like a few days, it kind of like blew over.
Yeah.
And like every once in a while, someone would like kind of say something, but it was never like if it happened and then the next day people were talking about it at school, it might have been a problem.
Yeah.
But since all those people went to a different school, I don't think it was like a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But I remember someone said something to me. They were like, "You got a 33, like that's quite a big jump." And I was just like, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. Study hard. You can do it too.
You're like, yeah, I actually prepped for this one. Like it really wasn't, you know.
I hadn't really been trying on the previous 5 attempts.
The saying, 6 times the
6
charm.
times the charm.
Oh, that's so great.
I was freaking out the whole time. And then my score came out and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't really tell people because I was just like, it draws attention.
Yeah, that is a really high score.
But then I ended up getting the scholarship.
Wow.
So like teachers were like, "Wow, you like got this scholarship." I was like, "Yeah, man, shut the fuck up. Keep that shit to yourself."
You're
right?
like, Mr. Stevens, be fucking cool. Okay. I don't get C's in here on accident. Yeah. Okay.
That's the thing is I was like my senior year, I was slacking hard.
Oh man.
So I'm like getting C's in class, and then somehow my ACT score jumped 7. It didn't make any sense, but now it does.
Wow, that's wild.
I hope you hear this, Mr. Willis, because he was like, "Wow, great job,
Mr. Willis." Oh, was he still teaching when I was there?
Yeah,
that name sounds familiar.
He was the calculus teacher senior year. Calc AB.
Send him in, Mr. Willis.
He comes in. Yeah. Dude, it was so sad. I went to did you go to your 10 year?
I did, yeah.
I went and I think he got Fox News'd at some point.
No.
He got really mad about something. I made a joke and he was just like, he just was like, not. I was like, dude, we used to joke. You used to be cool.
Yeah.
Like we used to be friends. And he just like very quickly like got angry at something I said. And it was like a you generation type thing. I was just like, all right, man. I don't know what to tell you. I guess I was kind of being jokey, but like.
He's like, I thought somebody as smart as you, a 33 on your ACT, would know better.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, dude, I know a lot of people like kind of shit on high school reunions. I had the best time at mine.
So much fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Everybody like, and maybe mine was the exception, or maybe I just was naive. But there were like all the social cliques had evaporated.
Yep.
Everybody was just like happy to see each other. Yep. It was just so nice.
The 10-year one was great. And my favorite people to talk to were not my friends in high school. They were people that I went to elementary school with all the way through high school that I just like wasn't necessarily like close with, but it's like I've known this person for, 15 years, 17 years of my life. And then we kind of just parted ways and like never saw each other again. And like I remember talking to this girl who I thought was like a little, like kind of weird, quote unquote. in high school, and she was so nice. She's a nurse now. She has a family. And I was just like, great, good for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And like, yeah, it was just really cool to catch up with certain people, just the people that I'd known for a long time, because I still knew what my friends were doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was like, I was more interested in talking to those people.
I remember I had some similar experiences of mine. There was a guy who in high school was just kind of, like overweight, not super popular, a little like socially awkward. And then he shows up at the reunion and he's like in really good shape.
Yeah.
He's really stylish. His wife was like super hot and fit. And I was like, yeah,
that
baby.
guy had been training for that. Dude, I guarantee that guy hit the gym before.
Oh, for sure.
He was
and it showed like people were not quiet about it. Like, dude, you look incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and his wife was like all proud. I was like, damn, bro.
You think you think it was an escort? You think it's real?
I didn't even think about that.
You think he paid? He's like in doing steroids the week leading up, and just like paying some high end. He's like, I gotta look cool for the Wolves, dude. I gotta look cool for the class. What are you, class of 12?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
2014, baby. Yeah, it was also a little humbling because when I graduated high school, like I had a lot of potential. I had this golf scholarship.
Yeah.
I had started these little businesses, and they're like, "What are you doing now?" I was like, "Open mics mostly." They're like, "How's golf going?" I was like, "It's over.
It's over."
Like, what about that investment company? I was like, "Yeah, it's over." They're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah. Now, dude, I think the 20 year will be interesting.
Because then you see
there's a lot of potential at the 10 year. There's a lot of budding potential. I think people are just figuring out who they are. 38, you're on the this is the start of the end.
Yeah, this is when you've kind of established yourself in your career and you could start becoming successful. Yeah. I just hope, because I have 8 more years to make something happen.
Well, this is what the podcast is for. Yeah. Tune in 10 years from now when Cody and I come back.
Dude, I can't imagine how few listeners I'll have in 10 years.
Yeah. We should go back to the show. Nobody wants to hear our high school.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I was having a good time.
I want to talk about this because I found it to be a great experience. And I think that that's not the usual, but we also went to that same high school. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Our high school just rocked. So I like to wrap up the confession. Like, what did you learn from this experience?
Cheat and it works out for you. Nothing bad happens. I will
say, like, trying to get ahead seems to have mostly positive outcomes.
Cheat, nothing bad happens. The world is run by horrible people who have cheated their way to the top. And I'm telling you, there's no hell. So just go ahead and do it. That's my bit of advice. It's all fake. Cheat, you'll win, and you can live whatever life you want.
And that's halal.
And that's halal. And that's on Islam. No.
I just, in this moment, realized that the last 4 of the 5 letters of Islam spell slam.
Yeah. Islam.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, great story. And before I put this out, I will look into it, like to see if you could get in trouble or something. Yeah. I think it's a great story. I'd love to put it out.
I'm not worried about me. I'm more worried about my brother because he actually has a, career.
Well, you have a lot of brothers. I'm sure it could.
Yeah, I have 12 brothers. It could be any of them.
It could be any of them.
Yeah.
And you said his profession now is he's a janitor.
Yeah, he's a janitor.
Yeah.
Please don't take away his janitorial.
In Texas.
Yeah, my brother is he's playing the fucking Goodwill Hunting of TCU College right now. Yeah.
He's at University of North Texas, and he's but the chalkboards is just like 2 + 2.
Yeah, he is actually smarter than everyone at the college.
They're like, my God, he's done it. Okay, so in the spirit of fairness, I would like to do a comedic confession for you.
Yeah.
What is an area of life, emotion, or
I want to know a time you cheated.
A time I cheated. Are you talking like scholastically?
Anything.
Okay, scholastically, I only cheated once because I was so scared.
Yeah.
But it was in 4th grade. And I always like really cared about my grades. They don't matter, but that was like my one, like I like rigidity and structure.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is my thing. So in 4th grade, we had a spelling test. And I was not the best speller. I don't know, and I wanted all A's.
Yeah.
And my grade in spelling was a 90. And it was towards the end of the year, and I really needed this test to go well. and I wasn't confident that I had spelled all the words right. And the bonus word, we had a bonus word each spelling test, and it was from some other subject we were studying in school. They would just pick a word, So it's like you haven't studied for it, but you can get like 5 bonus points if you get this right. The word was glucose from our, study on plant biologies. And I didn't know if it was GLUECOSE or GLUCOSE. Yeah. And I wrote down GLU.
I still don't know which one it is.
It's GLU.
Okay.
GLUCOSE. Yeah. I wrote that down, but I didn't hand it in. And I was like, I don't know if that's right. And in my head, I'm thinking like, I need this bonus word to get an A on this test and to get an A on this entire class. Like, this is it.
This is huge.
And so I started like looking around at the desks, and the girl next to me was like the smartest girl in class.
Okay.
And so I just like looked over at her paper, and she wasn't there yet. And the teacher's like, Cody, are you done? I'm like, no, I'm still working. Yeah. So I just waited until she got to the last word, and she wrote GLUECOSE.
Wow.
And so I changed mine.
Wow.
I changed it.
What a turn of events.
I know. And so I turned it in, and I felt horrible. I was like, oh, what have I done? And you go to recess, and you get she would grade him over recess. She'd get him back after recess, and she hands it back to me. And the spelling test, it's 20 words and then the bonus word. All 20 words I had gotten right. My first perfect score of the entire year, and the bonus word I had gotten wrong.
Wow.
And I was so embarrassed. I was so crushed. I was like, wow, what, like, I thought a woman would know, No, I'm just kidding.
I was hoping the story was you looked over and saw some, like, it was like an idiot spell it with that way. And you're like, okay, that's definitely not the right way to spell it.
That would have been, that would have been so much smarter. I should have looked to my left at the dumb kid and been like, how's he doing?
I'm going to take the opposite of that road.
He's just like drawing a picture,
It is so funny that like the smartest kid in like 3rd grade or 4th grade still spells glucose wrong. So like, that's just how dumb everyone is in 4th grade. Kids are idiots.
And so that was a time that I'm trying to think if there's another scholastic.
I cheated in the 5th grade on something.
Yeah.
And then I faked sick the next day, so I didn't have to go in and deal with the consequences.
Oh, did they catch you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Teacher took our stuff away. It was a Friday. And it was like, I'm going to go give this to your teacher. So Monday I faked sick. And Monday she talked to the whole class about cheating. And I wasn't there.
Wow. So you came back.
I came back again. Tuesday. I was like, so what's up? What's going on?
Y'all trying to pool answers?
No, yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah, it was kind of fucked
up. I wish I had your boldness. Like I get so scared. Not even of like
I'm not as bold as some people, dude. There's some people that are still like adults, like scam artists that are just like I get text messages from scam artists all the time. Like, what are you trying to do here, dude?
What I wonder what is it like for kids now that are in school or even like college, high school with ChatGPT and other large language models?
I remember I was at the start of cell phones in high school.
Yeah.
That could do more than just call people.
Yeah.
So we would text each other answers. Oh. Like during a test, like if you had it in first or second hour, it was like kind of your responsibility to like write down all your answers and send them out.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Whoa.
And it was like, that was all over the place. I feel like now teachers are probably better about like cell phones in class.
Yeah. The crackdown always comes like after it's already proliferated. Yeah. Like it's too late.
So we were like, and like you would essentially take the test and just use it as like okay, if I don't know it, it's this, whatever.
Gotcha.
Like as a backup. But yeah, I don't know. Now with like all this stuff, I mean, to me, it's just more, you just have to do stuff in class. Like you can't like anything that's take home now, you should just assume ChatGPT is doing it.
Yeah.
Like now it's like you sit here, tell us what 3 times 5 is. Don't look it up in front of me.
I do think you're right. It's going to require a lot more effort from the teachers.
Yeah.
And they're already stretched thin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's in real trouble.
And I think it comes down to a lot more like you just can't ask somebody for values anymore. It has to be more like expression or like critical thinking. Like you can't just be like, take home this thing and like tell me which body parts, are connected to the fibula or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that you can just look that up now in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like read this paper and like give me an argument as to like why it's wrong.
Yeah, so teaching more like how to think rather than what to think.
Yeah, and maybe having to do it in person, because even then you can chat GPT just about anything.
Yeah.
I have no idea, dude. I'm not jealous of teachers.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
not
do
jealous.
think because I kind of went down a rabbit hole and watched a bunch of YouTube videos of like people covering it. And a lot of people would like anonymously write into these YouTube shows and be like, listen, I don't want to use chat GPT, but I work my ass off. You know, I've spent like 15 hours on this research paper, and my roommate did it in like 15 minutes with chat GPT, and his was way better than mine.
Yeah.
You know, and
of course.
Like, he's like, and it got a better grade, and the teacher like read it to the class and was like complimented, and he's like, why the fuck?
What am I supposed to do?
Like, well, I'm being punished for doing like for taking more time and it being shittier.
So that, I guess that like as a more abstract idea is like, where do we value people's thoughts and expressions? Because like in a term paper, it's like ChatGPT can do it better than me. Good.
Yeah.
Have it do it.
Because in the real world, you just need that outcome. You don't need like, what is the value of school supposed to teach? Maybe the value shifts to, instead of like what information you can, you know, shit out.
Yeah.
It's like how, what strategies can you use to acquire information? Or like you said, critical thinking. Like you're presented with two very convincing arguments, maybe even created by ChatGPT, and you have to parse through them and come up with your own opinion.
Have you seen the ads for the company in San Francisco that is like, replace your workers with AI?
Oh, I've seen it. Maybe not that, but I've seen a ton of ads about getting replaced with AI.
I want to make a company that replaces CEOs with AI. I think that would be so funny.
That would be funny.
Just like we can, whatever your CEO is doing, we can do it with AI.
Yeah.
And then all you have to do is mutiny your company, and we'll come in. We'll take a huge pay cut. Everyone else will get a increase in pay, and because that I think would be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
If you're looking at what's best for the business.
Think your CEO is special? Our AI chatbot can lay off 15,000 workers by 7 p.m.
Automated emails to lay off workers. It just sends them out periodically, like once a year.
Use our AI avatar to do Zoom termination calls.
Our AI can lay off the ugliest workers you have.
Based on an algorithm. That would be
facial matching. Whoever's face isn't symmetrical gets laid off.
On facial symmetry. Oh, that would be great. Oh my God. AI CEO is funny. I did see, did you see they asked the Lowe's CEO, they're like, hey, AI is like really like shaking things up. What would your advice be to like your employees that are worried about like AI taking their jobs because you guys have been on like this big AI push? He's like, oh, my advice would be like, listen, AI can't fix a roof, you know? And it's like, yeah, okay, but Lowe's has like 19,000 corporate office employees that work on a computer. They're not fixing. So it's really, in his advice, he's like, I would stay on the job site and stay close to the cash register. That was his real advice. Yeah. And he's like, and the reporter's like, what about your 19,000 corporate workers who have office jobs that are worried about AI? And he was like, just get closer to the job site and the cash register.
Yeah. And that's why I want to replace him.
Yeah.
It makes me so angry. It's like your job is replaceable too, CEO.
For sure.
So replaceable.
I think that most CEOs aren't even like that great. I think there are a few that are exceptional. And this is just my opinion. I think when the CEO is one of the founders or one of the founding members and has like intimate domain knowledge, they do provide a lot of value. But when it's like a C-suite guy that's just concerned with like squeezing profit, the business is getting worse.
Yeah.
Like I would say the example of a good one. Do you know Jensen Huang?
No.
So he's the founder and CEO of NVIDIA.
Okay.
And I listened to a bunch of his interviews. He's like actually the man.
Yeah.
Like he truly understands the physical and system architecture of their best performing GPUs and has like deep knowledge of why they build this particular system the way they do, why they're using this chip, what this software layer is, and like what, like, so when he makes decisions, he has like real knowledge. But a lot of these CEOs are just like, oh, when you're a public company, you need like somebody who is a Wall Street expert that can boost the share price. And it's like just squeezing the company dry.
Like essentially a lot of them right now are just saying AI to make their value go up.
Yeah, it's a bubble.
Yeah, and then they lay off 15,000 people to make their value go up.
Exactly.
Right? It's like these aren't necessarily like product driven decisions that are, pushing the company forward. Yeah, dude, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, I feel like every company gets big enough to where eventually the only thing they can do is like we have to start sucking more to make more money.
Yeah.
Like our product just has to degrade. Like, dude, what did I get the other? I got like a Twix bar the other day. I was like, this is small.
It's gotten smaller?
It's gotten smaller.
Damn.
Whatever, dude.
That is lame.
Whatever.
I think what's tough is like because so much of the average American savings is now tied up in like S&P 500 investments. Yeah. These companies just get all these money shoveled in and the share price has to go up. Consistent profits don't increase the share price.
Yeah.
There has to be growth potential or increasing profits, which is really sucky because if you are the private owner of something and it is a high quality item that is printing you money, you just don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But if it's a public company and you have to appease all these shareholders, the costs have to keep going down and the profits have to keep going up. And it's like this K-shaped graph of and the delta is just how bad it sucks.
Yeah. And people losing their jobs and all this stuff. People working longer hours, getting paid less, whatever.
Did you see that Meta and Google have been offering $100 million AI pay packages
to OpenAI?
Yeah.
I saw that and then I applied for a job at OpenAI.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get in on this OpenAI poaching game.
That would be so
I mean,
smart.
I'm not going to get it. I'm probably not even going to get a call back, but I was like, I'm at the point where it's like my day job, I just want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
So that I can retire
and
just do comedy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did. It is funny. I did apply for a job at OpenAI, but when I saw that, I was just like, somebody poached me for $100 million.
I saw an interview because Sam Altman was talking about it, the head guy of OpenAI, and he was like, "Yeah, luckily, like our people have like real loyalty." I'm like, "Bro, it's $100 million."
No, they don't. Like they don't have real loyalty.
Anybody who choose because I'm sure they're making. I think it was some like $2 to $5 million at OpenAI. It's like, bro. For $100 million, you go. Like, dude, you're the cuck if you're staying.
Their earning potential is probably 10x that, or probably about that. Honestly, like if they have a percentage of the company, OpenAI. When it goes public,
I don't know if they had any percentages. I didn't know.
I was talking to a guy who worked at Grubhub or DoorDash or something, and one of their guys went to
as
OpenAI.
A driver.
He went to OpenAI. Yeah. No, but he was saying that the OpenAI engineers have bodyguards.
Whoa.
Like they have people, like the top ones, I have people like following them around, making sure they don't get like their computer stolen or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it's that level of... there's just so much money at stake.
I do. Yeah, and it's weird because based on like... Sometimes interviews don't really tell the full story. You kind of got to look where these companies are like putting their money. Based on the level of money that they are lighting on fire in pursuit of AGI or artificial superintelligence, they must, whether it's Zuckerberg or Google or Microsoft or OpenAI, they must believe that it is a race to AGI and it's winner take most. And they must believe it's worth trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because they're like lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
It's like very, and I just don't know if that's the case.
I mean, it's the case if we allow it to be the case. Ooh. That's kind of the general thing is like, I think at some point we have to decide as humanity to be like, are we going to become computers or are we just going to die at 80?
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like, I mean, you can live forever in this computer if you want to call that yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
And like allow AI to like, I don't know, build you a body or whatever the fuck it's going to do. Or like download your thoughts into AI and have it be your best friend or I don't know where it's going. Whatever.
I do know that
you're going to reproduce with a sex robot in 10 years.
Yes.
Have a little baby that's like it just creates a little mechanical baby of yours.
I do know that once like AI is like artificial general intelligence is achieved, it will be used for sex stuff first.
Yeah. It would be funny if it's like a mechanical baby and it's just like sucking on the mom's tits and it's just like a little charging cable. like a little lightning
USB-C port. That is really funny.
That is funny.
You know what that made me think of though? Like, are humans going to become? This is kind of another tangent. I won't make it too long. But have you ever heard the short story, "The Last Question"?
No.
Oh, it's by a famous sci-fi author. I'm forgetting his name, but basically the premise is humanity has evolved far into the future, and they have this artificial super intelligence that kind of makes all the decisions for humanity, and it answers any question they ask it. We've solved every problem. Well, now humanity's still going to die one day because the universe will end.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, is there any way to reverse entropy and prevent the universe from dying? And the artificial intelligence goes, not enough information to decide or to know. I'm really butchering the story, but I'll get through it quick. And then humanity, in like billions of years and aeons pass and hundreds of billions of years, and they keep asking this computer as it gets more and more advanced. And it just says, as of yet, there is insufficient information. They're like, can we reverse entropy? That's the final thing we got to do because the universe is going to die. Now humans all live forever. They're cyborgs. And the computer is so advanced, it exists in hyperspace, and you can communicate with it just by speaking into the void. Oh, wow. And it will hear you and answer any of your questions. This is still the last question.
Yeah.
So billions more years pass, the universe dies, and all stars have gone out, all chemical reactions have ceased, everything is dead, and the artificial intelligence is only living because it exists in the space between spaces. Like it doesn't even have a physical form anymore. Yeah. And it says like, wait a second, I haven't combined. I'm on a real tangent here, but the story does have a payoff, I promise. Yeah. The artificial intelligence is like, wait, I haven't combined every available piece of data in every possible way. And so it spends like 1 trillion years recombining every data point it has, and it figures it out how to reverse entropy, and so that the universe does not have to die and humanity can continue. Yeah. It says, but I'm too late. There's no one here to share it with. But I know how to do it. I can show humanity, and we can, I can reverse entropy. And so then it says, I will show humanity what I've discovered. And then there was a huge explosion, and the AI said, let there be light.
Oh, wow.
Wild story, huh?
Yeah.
Really wacky. This guy, he made a ton of like existential, religion science crossover stories.
Dang. So it's just like it's like the
idea is like the universe is consistently being created by some, super intelligent AI. Really, it's kind of a weird thinker.
I mean, there's got to be something. I don't know what it is.
I don't either. There is something.
But there is a universe, and outside of it, there's got to be something.
We are here, right?
I think. I don't know, dude. I'm freaking out at that story right now.
I'll send you the full version because it's like 10 pages long. It's it's really worth a read. There's like the PDF of it online. It's really well told. I didn't do a great job.
No, I was in. I thought there was going to be a punchline at the end.
And the AI said, suck my fucking dick.
The AI's Italian.
It's Andrew Dice Clay. Hickory dickory dock, the universe is falling off of my cock. You want to reverse entropy? I want to reverse cowgirl your mom.
Yeah. The universe is like, boo! You've aged out. Nobody likes your comedy anymore.
So I'm licking this solar system's ass.
I was like, oh! It's like, dude, you suck.
Saturn, my favorite planet's Uranus.
Oh my god.
The sun is like, do you mind? So I'm in line at the bank. Oh my god. Andrew Dice Clay.
That's what the universe did, was create a bunch of Andrew Dice Clays in his that's what the monkeys were.
Have you ever watched any of his specials?
I saw a clip on Instagram the other day, and it was him doing that nursery rhyme. And the crowd is like, yeah! He starts doing it, and they're like finishing his jokes. I'm like, what is this? It was so insane to me that's like, I mean, he's like one of the most monumental comics of all time, right? It's like he's the first guy to sell at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. But it was just like, what is this? Yeah. They know the punchline. Yeah. And I guess that was just what it was back then. I don't know.
But no, okay, I'm glad you had the same experience because I watched one of his specials for the first time. I was blown away at the level of pandemonium in the crowd.
It's so crazy.
The crowd is losing their fucking minds from the moment he's on stage to the moment he's done. They're
so amazing.
They're freaking out. It reminds me of a story. Have you ever heard Bill Burr talk about Dane Cook?
I don't think so.
So he said that he always would get pissed off when people would shit on Dane Cook.
Yeah.
And he said, like, yeah, you know, people like headliners would complain, like, oh, he's not even doing jokes. He's just like, he's just up there. And Bill Burr said he would be like, well, he's doing something.
Yeah.
Because the room is exploding.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr was like, you guys don't understand. Like, in the early days before he was huge, like, headliners wouldn't let him feature because they were scared.
Yeah.
They couldn't follow
smoke the room.
Yeah. And Bill Burr would be like, well, he may not be doing what you do. He's doing something, and these people are losing their fucking minds.
Yeah.
So,
and that hats off to Dice because he was doing that.
He was doing something. Yeah.
He was doing that. And yeah, with Dane Cook, I kind of understand what you're saying because he was like, he like would like repeat stuff and he would just like be kind of like weird. Like, have you listened to his like first album?
Yeah, it's
so
like,
good.
It's like he's like genuinely really funny.
Yeah, like I remember at the time I was just like, he had this Kool-Aid joke. Do you remember that one?
That is so fucking funny.
It's so funny. Or he talks about like the BK. He's like, I call it the BK Lounge.
Yes!
And it's like that's not really a joke, but it's silly. It's just funny. It's just like he's being weird.
I saw him do one like he was on like some Comedy Central showcase. And he was talking about how he was exploring a city. And he was like, I was just going around town. And the audience is like dying. And he just like did a funny play. He said, around town. And I was like, whoa, he can make anything funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the Kool-Aid Man joke.
Still one of my favorites.
Isn't it like he's like, there's like plaster and he's talking about there's like plaster.
He like jumps in through the wall and he's like, oh yeah. And the kids are like, oh no. Oh no. I gotta remodel. My mom's coming home.
Oh my God.
So funny. He calls him a glass bitch.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh my God. Have you seen the bit where is it The Price is Right where they spin the big wheel and it goes around? It's like, have you seen The Price is Right bit? He talks about how these old ladies spin it so hard. And he says one day one of them's going to get sucked under it. And he does the whole act out of like, you're like, oh my God. And then at the end he's like, oh no, bankrupt. It's just so funny, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing something. And honestly, hats off. I feel like there's a lot of comics out there that like, to do that, what he's doing is like you just have to be different and new. Like I know you're a big Casey Rocket fan. It's like he's kind of that thing where it's like
he's doing something.
He's doing something.
Yeah,
and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hats off to them. Like I that's the kind of stage presence I'm jealous of.
I know, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's just like they're doing something and they're making people laugh.
It takes enormous balls to like go for it that big too. Like really impressive.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I know my confession like wasn't as juicy. I can do another one if you want. Mine was like a childhood story.
What? Yeah, I mean, if you, it sounds like you have one on your mind. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just I wanted to participate with you because yours was really good.
Mine is a crime, so that's why mine is.
I committed a crime. Oh, I was complicit.
Yeah, I was molesting children. Sorry.
Oh yes,
I used to. I was a preacher in 2012. Yeah.
If I told you about my stint in Catholicism, if I told you about this. Actually, you have some repressed memories that might be activating from our time together. No, I was complicit in a crime. There was this girl that I was trying to impress. Goth baddie with pierced nipples. I mean, listen, it was it was my weakness for a time.
What are you gonna do?
And she liked my car, and she was like, "Oh, can I like drive your car?" And I don't like it when people drive my car, whether it's nice or not. Like I just am weird about like people mess with my stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And so we like get on the road, and she instantly goes on the highway and just absolutely fucking guns it. Like. I remember I looked down. It was kind of a high. It was like one of those like city highways. The speed limit was 55.
Yeah.
I looked down. She was going 148.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, please be careful. Can we stop this?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm wired. I did so much coke before I hung out with you." And I was like,
my God.
"Oh no.
Oh my God."
And I just thought we were gonna wreck.
Yeah.
Like she was gonna like have a stroke while she was driving. We were gonna get pulled over, and I was just so embarrassed because I'm like, I don't think she's sexually attracted to me at all. Yeah. I'm just like the little cuck bitch who's like worried in the passenger seat. And so finally, you know, the drive is over, and the part that made it worse is like it didn't even lead to anything. She's like, I'm gonna go meet up with my friends.
Yeah, she's like, all right, I'm gonna go fuck somebody else. Thanks for that.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, Jesus.
That's tough. Yeah. And that is, dude, whenever somebody's driving like that, my right leg starts like it just starts like pulsating from like me trying to hit an imaginary brake that isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can feel the tightness in it. Yeah. I can't stand whenever people start driving shitty, especially 148, dude.
I was terrified.
Oh my God. And then she's goth, so she like wants to die too. So it's like, dude, this is terrifying.
Like she's going to end it all.
Pierce nipples. It's like those people enjoy pain. Like this is not good.
That was when I learned that like being attracted to that type might be a bad idea.
It's a downfall of humanity, honestly.
This is not good.
Those people can make you become terrible human. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I'm allowing me to possibly die because she's hot.
Yeah, it's like an evolutionary failure. Like, what am I doing? It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Anything that I would do to like impress women that was like lame, it's like, I'm so embarrassed.
I thought she was going to, I remember some guy in high school let a girl drive his car and she immediately ran into a tree. She was like 15. He was like 16. Oh. And just immediately, and then he had to take the blame. His parents were like, you ran into a tree? You have a license, son. That's like day one.
Oh, that reminds me of another driving story. So you know Joe Nolan.
Yeah.
So on our senior prank night, it was heinous. It was so dumb. We just stole lawn ornaments from like all the surrounding homes and put them in Edmond Santa Fe's front lawn.
Easy.
It was just dumb. And I was like, man, afterwards I was like, these people probably liked these lawn ornaments.
Yeah.
So, but I was sober. They had all been drinking, so I was driving. And we were with this one big fucking idiot who we didn't even hang out with very much, named Eric.
Cartman.
Named Eric Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. So we're planting all these elements in the Santa Fe lawn, and I was like really good friends with Joe and Drew and these other guys, and this fucking guy Eric was like just there, and he was kind of being a problem already. But I was like, whatever. So then the cops drive up to Santa Fe, and so we're all like, oh, we gotta get in the car, we gotta get out of here. I get in the driver's side. He's like, let me fucking drive. Or no, he gets in the driver's side. Yeah, I'm like, no. He's like, let me fucking drive. And I'm like, no, you've been drinking. I can't let you fucking drive. Yeah. And so I back away. I'm like, I'll just go get my car because it was somebody else's big car. Yeah. And so he like pulls out really fast in reverse and tries to like drive out, and the cop comes down that road, so he can no longer get out.
Idiot.
So he
went through the back of Santa Fe.
Yeah. So he opens the door. He only made it like 50 feet. He opens the door, gets in the back, and he's like, get in the car. And I should have just hung him out to dry, but Joe was in the car, Drew was in the car, and I was like, God damn it. Like, I don't want these guys to get in trouble. So I got in the driver's seat, and the cop comes up because he has to go still quite a ways. He comes up and he's like, what are you doing driving like an asshole? He made us get out of the car and sit on the curb. He's like chewing me out. And I was just so fucking pissed.
Oh my God.
Joe and Drew had my back. They're like, they were great. So then Monday at school, I find this guy and I'm like, hey, you have anything to apologize for? He's like, no way, man. He was like a total asshole about it. And I was like, that's the last time I take the fall.
You should have been like, listen, he drove. I'm in the driver's seat now, but that guy, and he's drunk. So go ahead and arrest that guy.
Yeah, I just didn't want Joe and Drew to get in trouble, and I didn't know enough about the law.
Of course. No. Yeah, you did the right thing. Yeah, honestly, that guy owes you. Did you see him at the 10-year? You should, dude. Let's get him at the 20-year.
Yeah, he wasn't even at the 10-year.
Of course, he's a fucking loser.
I bet he died driving drunk. I
hope he did. That's so funny.
But yeah, that was my last driving story.
That's so funny. Get in. You fucking out. He drove you into the cop, and then it's like, now you figure this out.
That's exactly what happened. It made me so fucking mad.
I was like,
great. I'm actively walking into a citation.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even get to drive the fun drive.
Yeah, that sucks.
Ridiculous. But anyway, that's Comedic Confessions. We did it.
Comedic Confessions. You had something here.
Oh, that I have to remember to take pictures afterwards.
Oh, okay. I was like, you told me to remind you about something, and I couldn't remember what it was.
But you remembered to remind me.
I remembered
that was enough because I had forgotten.
Yeah, because I didn't know if it was a part of the thing.
Man, you talking about Andrew Dice Clay as the AI of the universe? That made me laugh harder than I've laughed in a while. That was so funny.
Yeah, the universe ends. He's like, oh, that was.
Always feels good to finish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Hey, I'm walking here into the other universes.
Yeah.
The multiverse.
Yeah, another universe is like coming in. He's like, hey, I'm expanding here. The Big Bang, that's every time I bang. That's really funny.
Oh my God.
God damn, that's funny. It's only funny in this exact context, but wow, that's funny. Yeah. Man, thanks for doing the show. Thanks for doing the live show as well.
It was awesome. Watch the episode. I hope you guys watch it. It was great.
We're gonna do it again.
The confessions were incredible.
Yeah, I was surprised. That was great.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for doing this. Have fun back in New York City.
Thanks
we'll miss you terribly.
I'll be back.
And can we say next time we hear from you, you might even be a father?
I will be a dad. Okay. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully he hasn't moved out by then.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
That'll be really. I didn't know if it was like public knowledge.
It is now.
It is. Really exciting. I'm really excited for you.
I am too. I'm a little nervous, but that's life.
You're gonna be a great dad.
Thank you.
I believe you've raised me well. All right, Humzah, thanks for coming on. We'll see you next week, folks.
Perfect. Bye, everyone.